In July 1944, a German immigrant and hardware merchant named Waldemar Julsrud was riding his horse near the town of Acámbaro in the Mexican state of Guanajuato when he spotted some unusual objects eroding out of a hillside. What he found would, over the next decade, become one of the most audacious artifact claims in the history of alternative archaeology, a collection that would eventually grow to more than 33,000 ceramic figurines, allegedly depicting dinosaurs, prehistoric creatures, humans interacting with monsters, and advanced technologies. A collection that, if genuine, would overturn not just archaeology and paleontology, but our entire understanding of the history of life on Earth. Julsrud began paying local Tarascan farmers. The Acámbaro area is in a region of the indigenous Purépecha people, to excavate the site and bring him figures. He paid 1 peso per piece. Over the following years, the collection exploded in size. The figures depicted an extraordinary range of subjects: reptiles that resembled Stegosaurus, Brachiosaurus, and other dinosaurs, humans in what appeared to be ancient armor or costumes interacting with the animals, and other objects suggesting advanced knowledge of technology and astronomy. Julsrud displayed the collection and promoted it enthusiastically as proof that ancient Mexicans had lived alongside dinosaurs, with implications for creationist interpretations of Earth history. The collection caught the attention of American archaeologist Charles Di Peso, who visited Acámbaro in 1953. Di Peso spent a day examining the site and the collection, and concluded almost immediately that it was a fraud. He found that the figures were being produced by local artisans at an industrial pace, noting that new figures continued to appear at roughly the same rate Julsrud was paying for them. The supposed excavation site showed no proper stratigraphy, no associated ancient charcoal or organic material, no genuine archaeological context. The figures themselves showed no soil accretion of the kind that develops on objects buried for thousands of years. They looked freshly made. Several radiocarbon and thermoluminescence dating attempts were made on the figures over the following decades, with wildly inconsistent results. Some initial thermoluminescence dates came back as ancient, suggesting the clay had been fired thousands of years ago. But subsequent analysis revealed a critical problem. If figurines are handled repeatedly after firing, thermoluminescence readings can be disturbed. When a controlled sample of the figures was dated under more careful conditions, the results showed much more recent firing dates. The most careful dating studies suggested that the figures were produced in the 20th century, consistent with the fraud hypothesis. The nail in the coffin came from a simple investigation. Researchers asked local artisans in Acámbaro if they had made figures for Julsrud. Several confirmed that they had. One artisan demonstrated on camera how the figures were made, using local clay, hand-formed, decorated with simple tools, then fired in traditional kilns. The artisans said they had been producing figures to Julsrud's specifications, including figures depicting subjects he specifically requested, such as dinosaurs copied from books and magazines. This last detail is revealing. The dinosaur depictions in the Acámbaro collection closely mirror how dinosaurs were illustrated in popular science publications in the 1940s and 1950s. The upright postures, the scale relationships, the particular species depicted. Modern paleontology has substantially revised our understanding of dinosaur posture and appearance. An ancient artist who had actually observed living dinosaurs would not have drawn them the way a 1940s reader of Life magazine would imagine them. Young Earth creationists have been the most persistent advocates for the authenticity of the Acámbaro figures, because if genuine dinosaur depictions were found in a pre-Columbian context, it would support the idea that humans and dinosaurs coexisted within the biblical timeframe, a few thousand years ago rather than the actual 65+ million years since non-avian dinosaurs went extinct. This theological motivation does not automatically make the claim wrong, but it does explain why the figures continue to be promoted despite comprehensive debunking. Acámbaro is not without genuine archaeological significance. The region contains authentic pre-Columbian sites with legitimate ceramics from the Chupicuaro culture, a sophisticated people who produced remarkable funerary pottery centuries before the Common Era. The real archaeology of Guanajuato is genuinely interesting. But the Julsrud collection, examined honestly, is the product of a credulous collector who created a market and local craftsmen who filled it. A cautionary tale about the relationship between belief, money, and what we choose to excavate from the earth.